More trouble this morning for the e-cigarette maker Juul, which is being sued by another state, this time Massachusetts. The state says the company deliberately targeted young people by advertising on everything from youth websites to apps that help kids with their homework. Massachusetts claims Juul created, quote, a public health crisis and an epidemic of youth nicotine use and addiction. CBS This Morning consumer investigative correspondent Anna Werner is here. Anna, what else does this lawsuit allege?
Well, Tony, as you know, Juul has long said that it does not target kids. It targets adults as customers. But the Massachusetts Attorney General's lawsuit says otherwise. Prosecutors there say during Juul's launch period, executives rejected a proposed marketing plan that would have focused on adult smokers and went with the campaign to target youth instead.
These photos showing young models using Juul e-cigarettes come from an early ad campaign proposal that the Massachusetts Attorney General says proves Juul was out to recruit teenagers as customers. AG Maura Healy.
Juul was out there not to try to get adults to stop smoking, but rather to try to get young people to start vaping.
Massachusetts sued Juul Wednesday, saying the company engaged in deceptive and unfair marketing and sale of its e-cigarette products to youth. Healy alleges by running ads on youth-oriented websites, including Nickelodeon, the Cartoon Network, and 17 magazine. The lawsuit says Juul also sought to enlist celebrities and prominent social media users.
Our objective is to be a responsible player in this market.
When we sat down with former Juul executive Ashley Gould in the company's first television interview back in 2018, she insisted those earlier ads were not part of a deliberate effort to target youth.
Did the original campaign appeal too much to younger smokers?
I can't tell you if it appealed to kids or not. It wasn't the intention, but it's also not consistent with the way that we're doing things today.
In a statement Wednesday, Juul said it had not yet reviewed the complaint, but is focused on earning the trust of society by working cooperatively with attorneys general, regulators, and public health officials to combat underage use, adding our customer base is adult smokers.
Juul, unfortunately, through its very destructive but effective advertising campaign, now has got a generation of kids hooked and addicted, and Juul needs to pay for that.
So far, 9 state attorneys general have sued Juul. The company has until May to apply for FDA approval to stay on the market, which affects other manufacturers as well.
So those are really problematic ads. I don't think anyone would think that, that's acceptable.
Right.
Juul themselves have said, look, it was a mistake. It's not consistent with what we're doing now. A big problem for Massachusetts and these other states is, according to the CDC data, the epidemic of e-cigarette use did not begin with Juul. In fact, began years before. And in fact, e-cigarettes overtook regular cigarettes in 2014.
Yeah,
Juul was even on the market.
Except that Juul is the one that caught on. They came up with a thing that looks like a USB drive. It's cool. Yeah. It's kind of like the iPhone. They say
the flavors too. The flavors, Anna, that they chose. Some of the names for the flavors were very attractive.
I mean, there's a lot of manufacturers that had flavors of different, bubble gum and everything else, but they're the ones that came up with kind of, and also they used a new process for their e-cigarette that makes it more like the feeling you get from smoking a cigarette. So they, innovated some things that other people did not, and that's why theirs took off, and they're the gorilla in the market.
Well, yes, if you're the Attorney General looking for someone to sue, Juul is the biggest target.
But when there's doubling and tripling of the market before Juul exists, there are also regulatory questions here.
Yeah.
What was the FDA doing?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Anna, thank you very much.